Hello, hello, Isabella. Welcome to the Life Career Roadmap in Australia for newcomers. And it's my pleasure to see you here and having you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Cema. Thank you for inviting me. It's also my pleasure being here with you today.
Oh, wonderful. So, Isabella, I would like to ask you a few questions about your journey as a newcomer in Australia. I understand that you have been in Australia for a very few months. Is that right?
Yeah. I came to Australia firstly in 2014 and I studied here for 1 year at the UniMelb. And it was amazing. I had a very good time. I learned a lot and I fell in love with the country. And that's mainly the reason why I decided to come back though.
Okay. So talking about coming back, let's start from where you come from.
Okay. So I'm from Bahia, Brazil. So
Mhm.
Bahia is a state in the northeast of Brazil. And well, everything in me is about that. So I love that place. The only reason I moved to Australia is mainly because I wanted more independence, like financial safety and structure. And I think I really can find this here in Australia. But yeah, I'm from Brazil.
Okay. So um, you are a mechanical engineer and you have been working as a mechanical engineer for how long?
So I graduated in 2017. So now it's going to be 5 years, I
Six
think.
years.
6 years now. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So
So,
what made you to decide to do mechanical engineering?
okay. Well, I knew I wanted to be an engineer. I believe that mainly because my brother and my father, they are both engineers. And I thought it would, when you admire someone that does something, you want to be there as well. So I think that's the main reason why I decided engineering. And mechanical engineering was because it was broader. So I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want to be civil. I didn't want to be electrical engineer. So mechanical at that time appeared to be a very good option. That's it. Not very romantic.
So, but that time, did you have any idea that you want to move away from where you come from, or you thought your life would be always in Brazil?
Well, I always wanted to be away. So ever since I was a kid, I was a teenager, I wonder what was outside of Brazil. So my first trip was just to US, and I, it was just like going to Disneyland, and I fell in love with like, oh, I want that. I want to travel around. I want to know everything in the world. So I tried to do that while I was growing up. So when I started getting some money, I started traveling around to get to know a little bit of that. And that's when I realized that I wanted to live abroad. I want to have this experience. I don't know if live it forever, because forever is a lot, but at
Yeah.
least have this experience. I loved it, the
Yeah.
idea.
In the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned that you came to Australia before, but you went to Melbourne. So tell us more. What happened? Why you came, and why you decide to? You said before you want to live abroad, but decide really to move and come to Perth this time.
Okay. So the reason why I came to Australia at first point was because I chose UniMelb. At the time, I got a scholarship from the Brazilian government, maybe it's Ciências Sem Fronteiras, Science Without Borders, the translation would
Yes.
be. And so the UniMelb for me, for mechanical engineering, was one of the best options. At that time, it was at the rank in the world, it was number 17, which is great. So that's what brought me to Australia. And I love Melbourne, but the weather is much different from Salvador, the
Yes.
city that I was born. So it was not the best weather for me. So this time I want to do something a little bit different.
Mhm.
And according to my migration agent, it would be better for me to come to a city that was not Brisbane or Sydney or Melbourne as well.
Mhm.
So Perth was the biggest one that I could come, and that's why though. That's why I'm in Perth, mainly because of my visa. What you
Okay.
would let me do.
And then from the time when you went back to Brazil and start wondering coming back to Australia again. So what did you do? What was your uh, plan in place to be able to come here after how many years? 4 years? When the last time?
No, I went back to Brazil in 2015.
Okay,
So
15. So it's 7 years, 8 years.
yes, 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
A long time ago. So I went back to Brazil. I knew that I wanted to be back to Australia. I didn't want to go back to Brazil. That's the thing.
Oh.
I wanted to stay here, but I couldn't because I got a scholarship and I had to follow everything in the contract. So I had to go back. I had to graduate at my university in Bahia. And that's what I did. When I graduated, I started looking for paths so I could migrate to Australia.
Mhm.
And my migration agent explained me about the skill visa and how it would work. And for me, at that time, I could apply for the visa, but as I didn't have much professional experience, it wouldn't be easier for me to be accomplished, like to be invited to apply. So I decided to work for 3 more years in Brazil and get this experience and get extra points. And that's what I did. But at that time, it was already like 2018 approximately when I graduated and I had this experience. And then we had COVID. So I couldn't come because I had COVID and the borders were closed. And then I had to wait a little bit more. And then I kept working. I kept getting more professional experience, which was
Mhm.
nice for me. I feel that it was really great for me to come here more prepared and more mature. Um, but yeah, so like in 2020, I was ready to apply, but then I had to wait until now. So like there was always like this huge planning about how to come, what was the best path for me, and financially as well. It demanded a lot of planning.
Yes, a lot of I understand that. It's normally what people, when they come to a new country, they underestimate how much this transition will cost them, and not just financially, but emotionally as well.
Mhm.
Because, and understand that you came very close to Christmas, and then it's a time when it's, oh, you just want to be with the family, and you just left.
I want to
Right.
be here as soon as possible. Like my husband and I, we decided to migrate in August on 2022. We said,
Mhm.
okay, now's the time. If we don't go now, we're not gonna go anymore. So let's do
Okay.
it. Let's go. But we had our wedding party planned for October, so we waited that to happen, of course. And then we came here at the beginning of November.
Mhm.
So when we arrived here, by the time that we were like looking for accommodation, and then we started looking for jobs, it was
Mhm.
mainly Christmas and like holiday periods. Not Christmas, like December is already Christmas here, like everyone and some holidays and everything. So that time was very, it was a good time to be here because the city was beautiful. Everything was so like pretty, but this family part is it's difficult, of course. I wasn't there with them, and everything was closed. All the companies were closed, like no job offers, like no, but um, not as much as we have now.
That's right. Isabella, when you came for the first time in Australia 8 years ago, Australia was in a different situation and you were in Melbourne. But coming this time in 2022, you came to Perth and Australia is in a different moment. So,
Mhm.
how was for you all the planning that you have done before you come this last time and what you found here as a reality?
Okay, I think the entire world is different after COVID. That's one thing. So after everything that happened, I think we are emotionally different as well. That's one thing that I wanted to say because when I got here, I met people that were migrating as well, the Brazilians that were coming with me, and they were like running away of their problems in Brazil. So they were tired of like being working in the office. Like, I want to leave everything back. I'm just gonna try something else in another country. So I felt like everyone was using this as a motion to come here. That's one thing that is different, because when I was here before, everyone that I knew like were students, so they were just like trying new things, studying, planning their lives. So that's the first thing. But about Australia, especially, what I felt that is really different. Two things: inflation is super high, super high. So
Mhm.
everything's so much more expensive right now. And I remember I used to buy like a banana or a strawberry. It was so like cheap, and now it's so expensive. And I know it's seasonal as well, but when I arrived here, I was shocked with the prices at the supermarket. I remember going to Kohl's to buy Kinder, those chocolates, Kinder. They were like 80 cents, 90 cents. Now they are $2. So that's expressive. And um, but also the accommodation crisis, it surprised me as well in a very bad way, because I got here understand that I could get an accommodation in a week or 15 days. The same thing that happened with me when I was in Melbourne back then. So I
Mhm.
believe that this was the main point when I arrived here as well, because I was looking for accommodation that there were like 56 people doing the same inspection that I was doing. They were interested in the same places. There was no availability, and the prices they were, I don't know,
Right, right. It's
crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, because the price that you pay for an apartment now, you could pay like for three-bedroom house before. So
Yeah, it's some of the crises that we have in Australia. I have got some of them in my life, like for the year, the time that I have been living in Australia, I have watched and lived these moments of crisis in renting and buying and yeah, and food and everything. I remember as well when I came in 2005, I think it was a big flood that they had in Queensland. So buying lettuce was so expensive and I love lettuce. I said, oh my goodness, I will never eat lettuce again if the prices is so forever. I say, that's very, very expensive. And it's so shocking because you don't expect that, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So and then you came with the expectation to as now you have this time, you have your experience, you completely your degree. So and well, how was your expectations regarding finding a job in your field?
I thought it would be so easy. Oh my God, I was ready to start working again here, because I thought, okay, I have experience in Brazil. I've been working in for oil and gas, which is also a big industry here in Australia and in Perth. And I thought, okay, it's going to be easy. Australia is demanding professionals. That's what they advertise, and they are really needing professional. But I thought, okay, they have jobs. I have experience. That's it. I'm in, you know? So I was thinking I could get something in December, like maximum January. I was like super ready to start working. But that's not how it happened, as you know. And it was very challenging for me to accept that I had to do different things.
Mhm.
So I started looking for ways of changing my job search, and that's how I found you.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So you came with, let's say, an international resume to Australia and have an idea how you could find jobs in Australia, but then you faced a situation that something is not happening. So must be something that I have been missing or is different.
Yeah,
Yes. So as we have been working together, so um, you quickly realized that was different.
yeah. I remember when I sent you my CV and my cover letter, I was like, okay, my CV and cover letter are fine. I just don't have the Australian experience, because I didn't say anything about that before. But here, they want you to have Australian experience. Even if you were like 10 years experience in Brazil, like doesn't matter. They want you to have reference from Australia.
That's right.
And I contact you asking, Cema, how can I have Australian experience? But then you said, okay, first, let me check your CV. Let me see what you wrote. But I said, oh, it's so good. My CV is great. Nothing needed to be changed. But then you taught me that it was not like that. Here, they prioritize your skills, your achievements, instead of your formal graduation or anything like that. And it changed a little bit. So they structured and how I presented, how I sold myself, uh, it had to be changed. And that's what you taught me a lot.
Yes, that's right. And you got the point when you felt down, because I remember, yeah, when I sent a message to you, I said, "Oh, I'm not feeling 100% because I don't know how to write this. I don't know what to say."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, let's do it together then."
Yeah. Yeah. It was so challenging because I know what I did. I know the accomplishments, like the achievements that I had, but putting that on words, that's different. That's completely different. And quantifying achievements is also like, different because I didn't work with profits or with like specific numbers. My area was more technical, so my achievements were more technical. And how you measure them, that's different. And that was the main challenge, I believe, on
Yeah.
like how to translate that.
And as soon as you got the way you should do, you did pretty well, right? So your resume became so beautiful and outspoken, let's say it this way. So you could really show that you had an experience, and you got a job without the local experience
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
field, right?
true.
So how it happened then?
It was nice because well, first thing that I knew that I was dealing with someone that knew what she was saying. That's you. So
Mhm.
that's the main thing. So I knew that if I did what you were telling me to do, I would get something out of that, first thing. And you taught me how to be more respectful to myself as well. So like how to see myself in a better way, because I realized that you were seeing me in a much better way than I was seeing myself, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I wanted to highlight first. And after I have my CV done, everything written, I started like getting a lot of great feedback. So the recruiters that started interviewing me and contacting me through LinkedIn or through job sites, they started like telling me that my CV and my cover letter were pretty good. Even like just reading my CV, they could realize everything that I do, which is nice.
Mhm.
And it helped me to gain confidence as well. And about the Australian experience, like you also helped me to find out a way to have this Australian experience. So I was joining this volunteering club in my suburb, which is very nice, named Q, and it's Club of Perth. Their motto is like kids literacy,
Mhm.
which I love. And I started like learning a little bit more about volunteering in Australia. It's huge. And yeah, the Australians really they really believe that this is a big thing. So like they add a lot of value to that if you volunteer. And I got this reference and everything. So yeah,
That's so
I think that's
beautiful.
it.
And then was the experience of, because normally when people come to get this kind of services, they want a job, right? So, and they want someone to write their resume. That is quite nice. I have done this as well. Someone to
Uh-huh.
write your resume. But it's not having you understanding yourself in your new country and how you can talk about yourself. So when you write your own resume and you make your own narrative, it's much easier for you to speak about yourself when you meet people, especially networking. and you have chances to meet many different people that reach out to you, also through LinkedIn, and also doing the work that you're doing. And having the first interview, it's so nice and at the same time so scary, right? It's exciting at the same time. What can I do now? Because there is an interview. So how was for you going to your first interview?
Well, the interview was very good. I really enjoyed being there. By that time, I was very much more confident than I was when I suddenly like realized that it was not that easy to get a job. I was thinking. So I was feeling very confident that day. It was a beautiful day. So I remember driving there, like, that's mine. I'm gonna get it. That's it. And I practiced with you before as well. And we went through like everything that they needed and everything that they were requesting for that specific job and how my skills and my experience would fit that job. So I got there and they were very nice to me. They asked very good questions and I felt like we were exchanging experience, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So they asked very very specific questions about the that role. So they wanted to know who I am, but they especially wanted to know what I could bring to that company.
Mhm.
So it was great. I met people. I'm still in touch with the person that interviewed me for the first time. So that's nice. And she introduced me to other people as well. So even though I didn't get that job, um, I feel like that experience was very good. You know, that was incredible for me.
And when you look back and debrief about that job, would you be able to do that job the way you thought? Or
Sorry,
would you be able to get the job and do the work that is expected you to do, or would it be a challenge for you?
the job that they offer the
Yeah,
first.
for the first one, when you went to the interview, when you learned about the organization, what they wanted from you, honestly, when you see yourself right now, what that job was the one for you, or would be a challenge, a big challenge for you?
No, I think I would get it. I think I would do it very well. Of course, I would need to learn new things, new skills, as in every job. But I think I would be a good fit for that. Yeah.
That's right. And the other thing is regarding the person that got the job. What was the difference between the two candidates that were there, you and
Uh,
the other person?
they told me is that mainly the experience. So the person that got the job was more experienced specifically in that role.
Mhm.
So they wanted something to be developed in a very quick way. So I believe that at that stage they prefer to go towards like this person that had more experience, you know. But and they let me know that I was a good asset for them. I would be a good asset for them, which was nice. The feedback was very positive. But that's it. I think you need to be in the right place in the right moment. Maybe that was not the right moment.
But soon after, you got another interview. So
Yeah.
a process for you to get what you want now. So tell us what happened.
Okay. So at it was January. January, I received a lot of contacts in my LinkedIn, a lot of different recruiters asking me if I would be able to be interviewed for one role or another role. So January, I was working to find a job. There was like a specific job, so I had another job that I was doing casually, but I was working to find a job, and I received some contacts through LinkedIn, and I had some phone interviews, some just phone calls just to get to know me as well. And I hand out a few CVs, but there was this recruiter that he didn't have any specific role. He just contacted me because he thought that my LinkedIn profile was uh, nice. So he said, I want to know you. Can we talk? I'm like, yeah, we can talk. He called me saying that he was in touch with this company that wanted to hire new people for new projects that were being awarded. but there was no specific role. I said, okay, it's fine. And I let him know what I did, what my skills were. So I used the technique that we had discussed before, how to sell myself, how to tell the best version of me, the best story about me. That's the thing.
Mhm.
And uh, by the end of that interview, he said that he would talk with the company and that what he did, and the company and the guy from this company called me like in 2 weeks, 1 week after maybe, and he interviewed me through the phone, and then he wanted to know me personally, and I went there, and there were two guys from this company that I'm working on that interview me. So for could be two different roles.
Mhm.
That was nice. There was a very nice interview. They were also very polite. They let me feel very comfortable during the interview. And they told me that my skills were very nice and I would be a very good asset for them. And they didn't know which role would be, which was like,
Ah.
okay, yeah. It's like, okay, so how is it gonna work? And 1 day after they called me offering the job position, I was like, that's for contract administration. And it was so nice to receiving that call. I was like, oh, thank you. It was so nice. I was so happy for that because they saw that I could add value for the company. They saw that I could do it, even though it's not exactly what I was used to do in Brazil. And I'm learning a lot in this position right now. Even though they said, okay, we're gonna bring you in because we are sure that you're gonna do a very good job. And that's what it is. And I'm there
So
now.
you could show that you could contribute with the organization, so they to achieve what they want to achieve. You're
Yeah.
part of the team. Well done. So let's go back here to your LinkedIn. I remember we working together to get your LinkedIn tuned in, and was not too bad. Let's say this way. It was more like refining to be able to get you in front of recruiters and recruiters to be like contacting you more. And I remember when I was searching for you on LinkedIn, I could not find you. I remember you and
Yeah.
you had a profile. I said something is wrong with your LinkedIn because I cannot find you. So what is it specifically about your name?
Yeah.
Because the way you wrote your name, no one could find you.
Yeah.
And
I
then
remember I put Silva Isabela, like I put the surname before the name, but no, when
there was a
you're not
little
gonna
trick.
look me for Silva Isabela, you're gonna look for me. It's Isabella Silva.
Isabella, it's
Like that.
you, right?
It,
And telling your story on the section about you, how did you feel writing that story, that narrative?
wow. I feel like talking about us is so challenging. It always is. Um, well, I'm very practical and straightforward.
As an
So
engineer,
yeah. So
the
like
process.
a storytelling is it's not something I was used to do. So I sat down and I said, okay, what would they need to know about me? What they need to know about me? What can I tell about me? And at that time I wasn't working. So how can I let them know that I'm not working, but it's not because I am not good. I'm just not working because I just arrived here. I'm just not working because I'm still like looking for a place for me, a new opportunity for me. And I try to put that in words using the techniques that you taught me as well. I saw other people profiles, other people that were also in the industry that I want to work in the industry here in Australia to
Mhm.
see how they talk about themselves. And I think I managed to create a profile that really describes who I am. And it's not long because I talk a lot, but I don't write a lot. But it's very concise and it
And the
tells what I
main
want.
thing was to show that you are not your job title, right?
No, I'm
You
not.
are more than that.
I am really not. I was applying at first, I was just applying for jobs that were my job title. Like I wanted something with asset integrity engineer, reliability engineer, asset management engineer, something with that. and I wasn't looking for anything else that was different. And now I'm working for in a position that is different. I use my skills. I don't use my previous technical knowledge. So we are not a job title at all.
Oh, right. And with no experience, a local experience as working in your field, but with experience working in a not-for-profit organization, and also having the time to make the job a priority, to find a job. And many people don't understand that finding a job is a job itself. It takes time, right? And it's not like everything flowers. You be nice, my resume, you be ready, and then I get the first job. And it's not that. It's not that job only. It's what comes after the job. Because as I remember, after you got the job offer for the job that you are now working in, you got another two job offers.
Yeah, that was crazy because it was next day. So I signed the contract with the company that I work for right now. And the next day I received two calls from two different recruiters telling me that I we got the job. One, I got the job, and the other one I would do like the last interview. And I was like, oh my God, seriously. I really believe that things happen because on the way that they need to happen, and do believe that. And I signed the contract. I was very happy with the company as well that I would work for. And I liked the people that interviewed me. I liked the position, the description of the position. I liked the idea of working there. It's very close to my place as well. So lifestyle, amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, quality of life. I've never worked close to my home before, so that was
Mhm.
new for me, and I was very excited to start working there. So I just thank them, the other recruiters, for contacting me, for offering me a job. But that's all, you leave the door open, but you need to stick with what you decided. That's what I believe.
That's right. So let's get your wise brain right now. And for the ones newcomers who are here in Australia and they are still trying, that that I don't use this word, but trying to get their back to their career in Australia, and probably have been here for a longer time than you. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who is here right now and who is a skilled newcomer looking into get the job that they want and having the life that they want? Because now you have the job that, and you said about your lifestyle that you are living close to the job that you are working in, and life is different than you had before. So things that came to the point that you achieved what you wanted, but there are more things that you want to achieve in your life, of course. But
Sure.
for the ones that are looking to this pathway, to this taking the roadblocks away out of in front of them, what kind of advice you would give to them?
Well, I think the first one would be, don't give up. I know it's not easy. It's not. When I was looking for a job, was very, very, very challenging. There were a lot of days that I cried. I was like, God, please give me a job.
It's a job, it's a God jobs to give you a job.
Yeah, yes, please give it to me. I deserve it. But just don't give up. I know that life can be sometimes very hard here in Australia because we need to work a lot to pay our bills and everything. I believe that most of these newcomers are probably working with casual jobs, things that they were not used to work back home. And uh, believe you can do it, and also contact people that can help you.
Mhm.
Uh, Maybe a mentor. A mentor was very good for me. I would say go for it. It's great because this person's gonna guide through. Is gonna guide you through this pathway to get the job. He's gonna teach you, and it make your life easier. It can be faster for you if you
Mhm.
are being helped with someone that knows what it's gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you. And if you have a mentor, if you have a guidance, and if you believe that you can do it, you're gonna do it. Even though you're here for years, you still have the skills. You still can do it. You know, I know that also, like some people, but this may not give me my permanent residency. Sometimes it can, because here is not about why you were graduated. It's all about your skills. That's
Yes,
it.
you got it. So, and for the ones that are outside of Australia, there are many people outside of Australia, and especially now that after COVID and the whole world is struggling with workforce, and it's a shortage of workforce everywhere. So, what kind of advice would you give to people that are still outside of Australia, wanting to come to Australia? They have skills. What do they need to do?
Plan. They need to plan.
Mhm.
Plan and learn about Australia, learn about how your industry is here, and prepare yourself emotionally and financially. I think, for me, being financially prepared. So, like when we came here, we had saved the money that we could use for the first months. It was incredible because it gave me the confidence. I felt safe, and I was like, okay, I'm not working there now, but I can still keep looking for a job. So plan yourself. It's not as easy as we think. You may think it's not easy, but like it's possible, but it's not easy. You need to adapt yourself. It's a new life. It's a new culture, and they really require you to um, modify your CV or your applications as they want, as they like. They really require you as well to have Australian experience. I don't know anyone that is like got a job without this Australian experience, knowing that Australian experience is not Australian experience in your latest career. Okay, Australian experience can be all the things, but I did plan yourself, save money, know what you want here, and know about your career here, companies that you could work for. Be
Mhm.
ready.
Yes, and regarding because you came with a good English level, let's say, so do you believe you would get that job without having the English level that you have right now?
Well, it would be difficult.
All right.
Yeah, because of course you can get a job, but my position specifically is contract administrator. So I need to read a lot of contracts. I need to be in contact with clients and subcontractors and with the team. So I need to understand what's going on. I need to have a broader vocabulary. So I think it would be very difficult for someone who doesn't have more advanced English. Of course, I make a lot of mistakes. Like I've been talking here, I made a lot of mistakes already. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah, I'm still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's just important that you understand. You can communicate yourself. You can express yourself. So study English. Please study English. It's very, very important. I'm studying everything, so I keep learning every day.
Every day, that's right. So, and to wrap up our conversation here, Isabella, how do you feel now that you are working in something that is not specifically that job title, but gives you the lifestyle that you were looking for uh, before you come to Australia? And what are your plans for the future?
Okay. Well, I feel very, very, very grateful for being working there. It's a new area. The people that I work with, they are very good on what they do. So I feel I can learn a lot out of them. A lot. My boss, like that person that you look like, oh my God, I want to be like him. He's very good. So it really motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. The position that I am now, I can also see that I can grow on that. I can achieve more things. So it also motivates me a lot. And But for a life plan, to be honest, right now, like I've planned so much to be here that I'm just enjoying my life. I'm like, okay,
You plan just to enjoy your life right
yeah,
now.
like my big plans start enjoying because when I arrived here, we struggled so much at the beginning with accommodation and first job. I work with hospitality when I first arrived here, which was very challenge for me as well in a lot of terms, like in a lot of ways. And right now, I just want to enjoy it. That I have time for me, I have time for my husband. We can do things together. We can save money as well. So for the future, I think a little bit more after that. Maybe in 6 months, I can start rethinking about it. Right now,
Okay.
enjoying.
It's just enjoying it. And I can see that you have now your personal life and career life working hand by hand. So let's see. I said it was my last question, but my question might be this one. How much do you think the personal development and career development, the weight that they have in life? So do you see any difference? Do you see they working together, or you can develop one and leave the other one behind? What do you think about?
They are completely together. It's everything about balancing them. Um, I think that when I was in Brazil, I was just working. I worked a lot, long hours, long days, and I think that I put my personal life in a second position. Here, I'm trying to balance a little bit more. From now on, I was working a lot at the beginning, but from now on, I really plan to balance a little bit more. And they are all together. I think that if you are not doing well in your personal life, it's probably going to impact your professional life and vice versa.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's all about balancing, and also it has to be aligned with what you want and your values. Like what I want now is enjoy. That's decided. So I will enjoy. Of course, I will work a lot. When I'm there, when I'm at work, I'm gonna be 100% there. But when I'm at home, I am gonna be 100% for my home, like for my family. That's it.
That's right. That's right. Like understanding the balance, it's about being present, whatever
Yeah,
you're doing. That's when you
yeah,
get the
yeah,
balance,
yeah.
right? Because this is a myth that people say, oh, the life work balance doesn't exist. Because if you have the balance, you never, never improve anything else in your life. You just stay there. So
Sure.
you need to have always the imbalance to be able to uh, search for more or wanting more. But the question
Progress.
is the time when you are working, giving 100% to the work, and at the time when you are home, give 100% to the time when you are home. So
Yeah,
no thoughts are overcoming us and taking you away from what you are doing in that moment. So that's all. It's something that we can practice a lot to be able to become genuine doing that. So yeah, we have the tendency to give a lot to work, but in the back of the mind, your head is just thinking about the house as well. So and then you get tired of dealing with two situations at the same time.
true, true. And here, I think the work culture here allows you to do this in a very easier way than when I was in Brazil. Like every day, every week, I had to work at home as well. Even if it's just a phone call, one email, every day I had to do something at home. And I was slept dreaming about my job. I slept dreaming on how I could solve things. And here I feel that it's much more, I don't know, it's not quite, it's less stressful, I would say,
Yes,
so.
things are more into places.
Yeah, yeah. The work culture here is amazing.
Wonderful. So, Isabela, thank you very much for coming and sharing your journey coming from Brazil to Australia and being able to reconnect with your career sooner than most of people do. And well done, and congratulations for taking the learnings and taking the actions, applying them, and for making the time to get your job.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cema. Thank you so much for helping me as well. Having you in this moment of my life was incredible. You were an angel. Uh,
Oh,
Seriously, you were very, very important for me. And I'm telling you, today I feel happy. I am happy. That's how I wanted to be. When I was in Brazil, like thinking on, okay, I'm going to Australia. This is how I want to be. No, of course I have a lot more. I have a lot of other things that I want to accomplish, but I feel happy. And you helped me a lot to feel like that. Because I remember when I called you in December last year, it was like, what? Oh my God, what can I do? I was crying. I was feeling depressed. I was feeling down. I wasn't feeling confident at all. You know, what am I doing here? You know,
oh, the plan that I did and everything that I wanted, I don't want anymore. I did
yeah,
a mistake.
yeah, yeah. So thank you so much for that. It's a pleasure for being here. And
And
that's it. Thank
thank
you, thank you,
you.
thank you.
I need to say thank you to you too, because as I explained to you before, when I was working for the Kaleidoscope Mentoring Program, that was a very important part of my life for many reasons. And I decided that I would step out there and run my business full time that I used to do before Kaleidoscope. So you came as the mark of my new era, like going to my business. So you came, I said, okay, let's do something that I was doing only for Kaleidoscope and not for personal clients as only career, right? And then by the end, you see that it's not only career, it's life, right? So putting the things together. And despite I was working 2 days per week with my clients, but I'm more into one-on-one with more long sessions and everything, working the life traumas, the life migrating and adapting. So all these kind of things. And coming as getting a beautiful person like you, full qualified and feeling down. And I was like, oh my goodness, there is another validation here. There is no separation anyway. That I knew it before. And you came just to say, this is the new era of my business, putting together life and career because they walk together. It's your lifestyle that you want, a lifestyle that you dream, that it make you feel happy and is independent of where you are, but how you feel.
True, true. Oh, that's beautiful. I loved it. I feel very honored being part of your life as well. And thank you for sharing that. I really loved it. Oh, I want to hug you.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. And I wish you all the best. You know that I'm here anytime when you need, but I believe you are in your good hands, your own good hands now, walking on your feet by yourself. But if you need anything, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening and enjoy your week ahead with the challenge of the new job.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Isabella. See ya.
See
Bye-bye.
you.